the channel. I'm the Motorsport Madman and this is race day in Azerbaijan. Welcome to the 2023 Azerbaijan Grand Prix in Baku. It's race day. It's been a long month of April with no races, with China getting the big delete. This is the first race since the end of March. Well, first couple of days of April, wasn't it? So yeah, a month off. Channel's been dead. Nothing to do, but we're back. And yeah, welcome in. Absolutely hype for this one. We've got a bit of beef as well. But the thing is, we've got beef between Verstappen and Russell. But the problem is, Verstappen starting this race second, Russell 11th. So they're probably not going to come to blows. As much as I would love it, they're probably not. It would take something extremely bizarre for Verstappen and Russell to be on the same piece of track today in the Grand Prix itself. Because the results from the sprint race don't matter from yesterday. That is all done and dusted, forgotten about. And this is your grid for the Grand Prix today. So let's quickly go through it and then we'll do it a bit of a waffle. But yeah, let's go through the grid, even though you can see it there. I'll go through it anyway. So yeah, Charles Leclerc is on pole position. So the qualifying session that set this grid was on Friday afternoon. I actually missed it. But it was a good dramatic qualifying session because Leclerc put it in the wall, but he'd already set the fastest lap. So Leclerc, even though he crept back to the pits with half a front wing, he was on pole position. Bit of a weird one, but it is Leclerc on pole again, just like he was yesterday. Can he hold on to it this time? He's got Max Verstappen on the front row alongside him, so it's gonna be very difficult. But yeah, welcome in, Dan. Yeah, we want Max in the wall. Shift of doom, yeah, mate. It is a shift of doom. I'm on the shift of doom tomorrow, mate. All day Monday, mate. So I know how those shifts are, mate. It's long. But yeah, SHT, welcome in as well. Hope we get dramas. Yeah, me too. Talking about F2, Oliver Behrman dominated the whole weekend here by being first in hopeful. Did he? Wow. Oliver Behrman. I've only heard of him like 2-3 days ago because he got pole position with a broken, like his steering was like this and he got pole position. So I seen the video of that. But that's the first time I've heard of him, to be fair. So I need to do my research, don't I? Who is this Oliver Behrman? Because it looks like he's heading for F1. If he keeps that kind of form up anyway. But yeah, over get dramas from Verstappen and Leclerc. Yeah, I'm hoping for that too. I'm not going to lie. Verstappen and Leclerc, bit of pushing and shoving in lap one wouldn't go amiss. Yeah, welcome in, Carl. I reckon both Williams get top 10. Charles and Max had previous. Yeah, they've had previous since they're like 12-year-old. There's a clip of him go-karting. It's a famous clip now. And he says, the interview Max, they're only about 12, and the interview Max after the go-kart race, they say, what happened? He's like, oh, well, he pushed me, I pushed him, he pushed me off, it's not fair. And then they go to Charles, they're only kids, they go to Charles and say, Charles, what happened with Max? Just an incident in the race. They're just kids, mate. So they've had a rivalry since day one, mate. Leclerc and Verstappen have been scrapping for 20 years. So yeah, hope that ramps up a level today. I'd love to see it. But Verstappen was in a right mood, wasn't he, yesterday? Yeah, Austria 2019 as well. Yeah, when Max. Oh mate, I know he shoved him off the road. In fact, I think Dan, right, that we watched Austria 2019 at your house, mate. I think we watched Austria 2019 at your house and seen that. Or was it Austria 16 we watched? We did watch an Austrian Grand Prix at your house once, and it was drama on the last lap. I think Hamilton and Rosberg crashed. It would have been Austria 16. It would have been Austria 16 we watched. Yeah, man. Austria 16 we watched. Yeah, Hamilton and Rosberg crashed on the last lap, mate. And like Rosberg had no front wing and that. He was trying to wipe Hamilton out, mate. Rosberg was in like serious like revenge territory there, mate. Rosberg was on a madness. Yeah, sparks everywhere on the last lap. Like them two went off, didn't they? Rosberg, Hamilton. Hamilton retired Rosberg, mate. But yeah, we're about 20 minutes away from the start of the race. Please do drop me a like. if you haven't already. Get yourself subscribed if you're into Formula One, because I'm here for every single Grand Prix weekend, provided Dan will swap the shifts for me. Or Lawrence, you know. I do you Monday, Tuesday, mate. I do you Monday, Tuesday. Don't worry. Give me this Sunday off. I'll do you Monday, Tuesday. No, but yeah, I should be here for every race during the season, please. Yeah, 19 minutes to go. So, yeah, I was starting to go through the grid. I do you Monday, Tuesday, Dan. I do you Monday, Tuesday. Sainz going to struggle. I've been off the pace this weekend. Yes, Lewis. Well in. Welcome to the stream, Lewis. Not seen you for a bit, Lewis. How's it going? How's it going, mate? I'm new to the channel. Oh yeah, Denver. Yeah, mate. He sends people across. Like someone asked Denver, like, "Oh, are you doing F1 or something?" He'd be like, "Nah, I'm not, but Rob is." You know, so we've got it rigged up. We've got a partnership going on. So if any football fans come to him and go, "Are you doing F1?" If any football, you know what I mean? If any F1 fan come to me and was like, "Are you doing the football?" No, but the developer is. So yeah, we got a partnership going, don't we? Nah, it's just me, mate, innit? But yeah, welcome in, Mitch. I appreciate you joining. We're about 20 minutes away. I'm just going to go through the grid, even though it's written there. But yeah, Leclerc was on pole position, which he claimed on Friday afternoon. So it's like a double pole position for Leclerc. He got the pole for the Grand Prix. He got the pole for the sprint race. Ended up second in the sprint race. So not too bad, really, from Leclerc. Gets us 7 points. It's a weird one because Leclerc has got 6 points from the first 3 races. He's had an absolute nightmare start of the season. Gets P2 in the sprint yesterday. Gets 7 points. So he's got more points yesterday in the sprint race than the first 3 races combined. How's about that for a stat? That is a weird one. But Ferrari not having a great start to the season. But it looked like, especially under, you know, with Charles Leclerc, they've got some serious pace this weekend. And even though Perez did ultimately overtake him, pass him, and win the sprint yesterday, Leclerc held on. You know, Leclerc held on to second. He didn't get done by Verstappen. So it was pretty decent. Would love Lewis to win this, to be honest, but can't see other than Verstappen pole. Well, it's Leclerc on pole, but if you mean yeah, Verstappen win, yeah, the Verstappen win. You know, listen, you go down to the bookies now and get on the Verstappen win. You ain't getting much money back, are you? You know, it's 9 times out of 10 Verstappen's winning this, but you never know. It's live sport, and you just, if it was that predictable, we won't be watching it. So, yeah, you know, you never know, innit? I mean, look at Russell putting a hole in the side of Verstappen's car yesterday. Anything could happen, mate. But yeah, I love Lewis to win. I mean, Lewis to win would be heroic. You know, Mercedes off the pace as well. So if Lewis got a podium, it'd be phenomenal. To be honest, you know, if Lewis moves up from 5th, he's done a fantastic job. So yeah, Mercedes not quite on the pace yet. Prediction is Max DNF, says Dan. Yeah, Dan. I wouldn't mind that. I'm not gonna lie. I know that sounds so anti-Verstappen. Like, oh, I hope he crashes. It would, for the sake of the championship, make it a little bit more interesting. I'm not going to lie. We don't want Max Verstappen winning. The thing is, we're in serious danger here of Verstappen cruising to 19 out of 23 victories or something like that. We're in serious danger. I mean, last year, what did he win? 16 out of 22 or something like that. We're in serious danger of Max just cruising to 19 victories. So, it's not ideal, that. And that's not just Verstappen. It's not ideal if anybody wins 19 out of the 23 races. It doesn't matter who you support. It's not really ideal for the sport. So, yeah, I would like to see a Perez win here. Because if Perez wins the sprint and the Grand Prix, you know, he's knocking on the door then, and he's saying, Max, you know, this is not a one-man team. But yeah, Alonso podium, I'd love to see, Dan, yeah. Alonso podium, he can do that from 6th. It'd be great to see Alonso come from 6th to get on the podium, be 4 podiums in a row. Sorry, get behind with the chat. Honestly, if Max didn't have damage yesterday, I think Max would have got it. Yeah, I think with the hole in the side pod probably didn't help him. Yeah, Lewis also struggled. He did. Lewis struggled yesterday, didn't he? SHT. He fell off the back of Alonso. I think, what was he, 6th in the sprint? Hamilton, 6th or 7th, but he got done by Sainz and Alonso and then couldn't keep up with him. So, yeah, Lewis struggled yesterday. Yeah, win, not pole, yeah. So, you've gone Verstappen win. Yeah, you know. Heavy favourite. If it was a horse race, he'd be 1-3 favourite Verstappen, wouldn't he? You know, so I'm hoping for an underdog win. You know, I always hope for the underdog win. When Alonso led into turn one in Saudi Arabia, I nearly died. So, yeah, I love an underdog. What else are we saying? Ian Sainz not really comfortable. No, they're not. Yeah. Sainz and Hamilton not really been on it this weekend. So they'll be looking to turn that around now. What else is going on? I can't stand Verstappen. I mean, yeah, I feel like Verstappen's a bit of a Marmite character. You either love him and it's all Verstappen and Verstappen's your whole world and it's Max, Max, Max and, you know, you're getting your orange flare out and it's Max everything, or you can't stand him. Where am I on that scale? To be honest with you, I don't mind it. I don't mind it because you've got to be ruthless. If you want to be a world champion, listen, you've got to be ruthless like Max is. I loved it, right? I was a Hamilton fan for about 15 years, right? And I loved it when Verstappen started bullying Hamilton out of the way in 2021 because I love to see the king get knocked off the top in sport. You don't want to see the same guy winning. You want to see competition. So when Max bought the flame, he bought the fire to Hamilton a couple of years ago. I loved it. So I can't sit here and say, no, Max a digger, because I actually rate him as, you know, you've got to be ruthless. You've got to throw a pat. You know, if he didn't throw a fit and get angry and that, is he really arsed? So the anger is not a problem for me. I reckon it was spice of the sport anyway. Stats here: Max got 3 DNFs in his 6 appearances on this track. Yeah, mate. So 4 in 7. What are we saying, SHT? Dan? 4 in 7. Albon to win. Hey, listen. Albon to win, mate. It will be tops off, mate. I've got a Williams top here somewhere. Williams top on, mate. No, there's no way. Alex will be a lap down by lap 35. No, listen. Alexander Albon is a decent driver. Probably one of the most underrated. I think if you're going underrated drivers, Ocon, Albon, Stroll. They're the 3 underrated drivers for me. Ocon, Albon, Stroll. Probably in that order as well. So, I do rate Alexander. In fact, Alexander Albon is one of my favourite drivers, actually, to be fair, Carl. He's a normal guy, Alexander Albon. Some of these guys are superstars, celebrities. You know, you'd feel a bit weird, awkward if you met them. You'd be like, oh, God, you know, these guys are celebrities. Big Alexander Albon, he's just a normal guy, mate. That's what I love about him. He's a regular dude. So big ups to Alexander Albon. Which Aston Martin do you prefer? Fernando Alonso. Yeah, I'm Team Aston Martin this year. One, because, right, you're new in it, Mitch. I was the massive, most huge Mick Schumacher fan, right? The son of the great Michael. You know, I grew up idolising Michael Schumacher. His son's in F1. I am fully on board. You know what I mean? I was everything Mick Schumacher. Look at the list of names there. You know what I mean? He ain't there anymore. Now, I think he'll come back next season, Mick. I think Mercedes will sort him out. Not with a seat of Mercedes. That would be ridiculous. But they might be able to shuffle him in the grid somewhere, maybe if Logan Sargent doesn't do very well, or if Zhou Guanyu gets binned off, or if Yuki Tsunoda's given the back door. We might see Mick back next season. I was Mick Schumacher. Anyway, long story short, I was Mick Schumacher. He's no longer there. Where am I going to go for 2023? Am I going to support the Gasly Alpine scenario? Am I going to support the Oscar Piastri McLaren scenario? We've gone Fernando Alonso Aston Martin scenario, and it's fucking working out brilliantly. So I'm all Aston Martin and I'm all Fernando Alonso this season because I've got no Mick Schumacher to support. But yeah, DNF with reliability issues 2018. You know, Oh yeah, man. Yeah, Verstappen's had a few issues here. It's not been clean. It's not been smooth sailing for Verstappen in Baku. Will it be today? I mean, it'd spice it up if it wasn't. Still fuming about Abu Dhabi. Yeah, I mean, 99% of F1 fans are still fuming about Abu Dhabi 2021. My opinion on that is, ooh, Abu Dhabi 2021. Probably, yeah, not worth saying, my opinion, because I loved it. No, anyway, right. The thing about Abu Dhabi 2021, I love drama. The more chaos, the more drama, the more controversy, the better. So imagine my opinion on Abu Dhabi 2021. The best race I've ever seen in my life. And I was a Hamilton fan, bro. Nah, mate, listen, Abu Dhabi 2021. Oh, you'd never get close to that again. You never get close to that again. I tell you what, I bet the viewers, that doubled the size of the sport, mate, that race alone. So can you really hate it? But yeah, anyway, what are we saying? Is Roger Federer of F1? Oh, Alonso. He's better than Roger's calm, and Roger was smooth and calm with it. Alonso's a lion, mate. Alonso's a samurai. He's a fighter. He's a lion. Federer was smooth with it, you know. So I don't know, mate. If you can't tell, I'm a massive Lewis fan. Listen, I've been there, been through it, Mitch. I was a Lewis fan until the Turkish Grand Prix in 2020. And that, for me, when he wrapped up his 7th World Championship, was journey complete for me. I'd been through all the emotions. You see, when I was growing up, when I was a teenager in my early 20s, everything was Lewis Hamilton. There was no other drivers on the grid, mate. It was all Lewis Hamilton. And when he won the Turkish Grand Prix in 2020, I drew a line under it. I said, I can't be emotionally involved with one driver. The journey's complete. He is the most successful driver of all time. I've now got to look at the sport as a whole. And that's what I've done. From then on, from Turkey 2020, I've gone neutral. Pretty much. I mean, you know, I support Mick Schumacher, Fernando Alonso, whatever, but I don't really mind who wins as long as it's exciting. I think my journey with Hamilton is done. You know, he's won it all. He's done it all. It's finished for me. But you know, big ups, Mitch. You carry on into because he's gone over the peak now. He's going down the other side of the hill. You're gonna stick with him. There might not be many more wins added onto that 103, but you never know. I would love to see it. I still would back it. If Lewis was given a winning car now, I'd still be like, go on, Lewis. Do you know what I mean? I'd still have that deep-rooted support deep down that'd go, go on then, Lewis. I'd still have that. But I've moved on. Anyway. I just don't look like, so I get behind with the chat. Every comment I go on a 10-minute tangent. Apologies. Hope Leclerc doesn't make the same error what he did in the sprint shootout yesterday. What did he do in the sprint shootout yesterday? Is that when he crashed? Is that when he got pole and crashed? If you like controversy, I watch VAR in football. Oh yeah, VAR, mate. Love it. No, the more controversy, the better for me in sport. I don't know why. I don't know. To me, controversy equals entertainment. Entertainment is what I'm watching it for. So the more controversial, the more, you know, the more outrageous, the more, oh my God, what has happened there? What is going on? The better. You know, to me, controversy equals entertainment, mate. You know, Michael Massey dropping a bollock, mate, and giving the championship to the wrong driver. It doesn't get more controversial than that. That's entertainment gold, mate. He's given the championship to the wrong guy. Unbelievable settings. Everyone fuming, like 99.9% of people absolutely fuming. Mate, couldn't get better. Anyway. Hello, Rob. Yeah, sorry if I want to get behind with the chat. You probably said that 5 minutes ago. Where did the Twitch stream go? Oh, yeah, we don't... Yeah, oh, that went, lad. Probably not best to say on live. But, yeah, the Twitch stream went, mate. Went into the DL, mate. Went down low, mate. My second driver would be Alonso, yeah. How do you think he would perform in a Red Bull? Ooh, Alonso? He's winning every race. Yeah, Alonso v Verstappen at Red Bull. Then, you know, Verstappen might throw the toys out of the pram every single week if that was the case. It would be ruthless. Red Bull could never do it, would never do it, should never do it. It would be too ruthless. You've got to have that dynamic. Or it's preferential to have a dynamic of a number one and a number two, really. If you're at the sharp end of the grid, you've got two drivers who think they're the number one driver. It can cause more havoc than benefit. So you got to be careful, about creating a dream team. You put Alonso and Hamilton in the same team. Well, it lasted a year, mate, and it didn't go well. So you've got to be careful. You want the two best drivers you can get, but at the same time, just be careful, You forgot he crashed. Which qualifying session did Leclerc crash in? The Friday one or the Saturday one? I don't remember, bro. Well, he crashed in one of them, didn't he? Did he crash in the... I thought he crashed in the Friday one. He went into the wall. Yeah, he went into the wall in one of the qualifying sessions, didn't he? But he still got pole. Anyway, it's about to start in 4 minutes. This half an hour's soon gone on it. So I meant Lewis in a Red Bull. Oh, Lewis in a Red Bull. Lewis in a Ferrari. What are you saying about that? I reckon that's a possibility. If, they could ditch Sainz. Imagine Leclerc and Hamilton at Ferrari. I don't think it's out of the realms of possibility. But Lewis at Red Bull, no, they'd never do it. No, they'd never do it. They'd never do it. Too much chaos, mate. Verstappen is like Nick Kyrgios. Yeah, he is, isn't he? Like, loses temper in that. In fact, if I would support any tennis player, it would be that guy, actually. Because he's controversy, isn't he, him? He's nothing but he loves it, mate. Yeah. Nick Kyrgios. I back him, actually. Because it's funny, isn't it? You got all these boring, mate. But he's good, isn't he? Because he's good when he's winning, but he's good when he's losing as well. It's probably better sport when he's losing, isn't it? Nick Kyrgios is a mad one. He doesn't give a damn, mate. He doesn't want to wear white at Wimbledon, does he? Yeah, Nick Kyrgios. He's on a mad one. Anyway, right, this is the grid then. So we've got Ocon. And so it's Hulkenberg and Ocon on the back row. De Vries, 18th. Pierre Gasly, 17th. Kevin Magnussen, P16. Zhou Guanyu, P15. Logan Sargent in the Williams, P14. Valtteri Bottas, P13. Alexander Albon, 12th. Next to George Russell in 11th. Outside the top 10 for George Russell, not very good. Oscar Piastri, 10th. Lance Stroll, 9th. He'll be looking to improve from there with the Aston Martin's pace on the long runs. Yuki Tsunoda, 8th. Not too bad. Lando Norris, 7th in the McLaren. They're improving. Fernando Alonso, 6th. Will he have a big battle with Lewis Hamilton? In P5, I think Hamilton v Alonso could be very interesting today. Carlos Sainz, P4. He's been about half a second off his teammate this weekend. Perez, P3. The sprint race winner starts from P3. What can he do from there? And we do have a front row of Max Emilian Verstappen and Charles Percival Leclerc. Let's go. It's race day in Azerbaijan. Not even got the headphones on. I've not known what they've been talking about. But we've had our own conversation, haven't we? And we've killed half an hour there. So get in. What's that thing on the table on the left? This, mate, I am building a rather expensive racing simulator. And this is what the wheel clips onto. The wheel, so you see the seat there. The steering wheel, which is another few £100, clips onto there, and this is the brains of the operation. So I am building, and it's going to take about 9 months because this stuff ain't cheap. I'm building a racing simulator. So get in. And it's going to be the real deal, mate. None of your Logitech rubbish. This is serious stuff. But yeah, that'll be done in about September. Because that stuff is hellishly expensive. But anyway, we're about to get underway. But yeah, I hope that solves the mystery for you, because it does look weird, I suppose. You don't know what it is. It's like, what the hell is that? But yeah, it is the start of something special. Saturday one. Oh, did he crash in the Saturday one? So he was all fine in the Friday one. Which is yesterday. Yeah. Yesterday morning he crashed it. Right, let's go. Formation lap is underway. Let me make sure the live timings are going to be up on screen and working. And oh, do you know what I've not done? Right, I've got to just mess with something. Wait there. Oh, damn. Dee. Wow. Oh, there's always technical issues, mate. With the live timings, always. I'll try and sort it out while the formation lap's happening. Window capture. Right, I'll try and rig this up real quick. Right, that'll do, won't it? We're on the formation lap anyway. I'm just trying to sort this out. Filters. We're on a last minute technical issue because I'm a pro. Jesus. Yeah, both McLarens in the top 10. Right, there we go. How's that? Not very readable, is it? There we go, that'll do. Okay, and then we'll just do this. We're lining up for the start. Okay, that'll do, won't it? Right, good. That'll do. Oh, right, let's do it. How are you going to say it's lights on, away we go? Nah, mate. That's Dave. I don't know what I say. What do I say? I probably change it every time. I do rocket launch, me lad. I do rocket launch. You'll know when you hear it. Right. We've sorted out the live timings. That was a rig up, mate. And I was panicking then, thinking, I ain't going to do this in time. Right, but we have done it in time. Of course we have. Right, live timings are up. Wow, there's two of them starting from the pit lane then. So we've got Ocon and Hulkenberg from the pit lane. Okay, here we go. Green light then. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Look at the angle that Verstappen's pointing there, and away we go in Azerbaijan then. Look at Verstappen's aggressive angle across the circuit. Is he going to dive down the inside of Leclerc? No, Leclerc keeps the lead into turn 1. Leclerc, Verstappen, and look at Alonso down the inside of Hamilton then. It's Alonso v Hamilton into turn 2, and Hamilton covers him off. Alonso's going to have to wait. And look at Lando Norris then round the outside. There's contact there in the mid-pack. It's contact between Piastri and I think one of the Alfa Romeos in the middle of the pack, but it is Leclerc that leads them down to turn 3 then. Leclerc, Verstappen, Perez. Then we've got Sainz, and Lewis Hamilton is still ahead of Fernando Alonso, then Stroll, Norris, Russell, and Tsunoda, top 10. Well, I tell you what, Alonso had a look at Lewis but couldn't get the job done. Didn't fancy doing what Russell did on Verstappen yesterday. And yeah, Leclerc leads safely then as we head to turn 7 and the narrowest part of the circuit. Hey, Alonso had a go, didn't he? And I tell you what, Verstappen, I didn't even realise, because I was sorting out the live timings, I didn't even realise how aggressive Verstappen was. He was virtually pointed at a 20-degree angle at Leclerc, but it made no difference. But Verstappen is all over the back of that Ferrari immediately. Max Verstappen fancies this one, and we're coming towards the end of lap 1 then. The Aston Martins are now nose to tail as well, but it is Leclerc who leads us onto the back straight, onto the pit straight, the end of lap 1. Max Verstappen in the slipstream. He won't get DRS now, but he'll get DRS next lap. So it is Leclerc, Verstappen, Perez, Sainz, Hamilton, Alonso, Stroll, Norris, Russell, Tsunoda, top 10. Here we go then. It's going to be pretty close. As soon as Max gets DRS, this is going to be game over. But Leclerc hangs on for now into turn 1 on lap 2 with the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It is Leclerc and Verstappen all over that gear. But I tell you what, Max is looking quick here, and I think give it another lap or two. Give it another lap or two, and Max is going to lead this. I hope Charles fights it as hard as he possibly can. I hope Charles gives him a run for his money. Piastri down there in 11th behind Yuki Tsunoda. Then we've got Alexander Albon there, 12th. Magnussen 13th. Logan Sargent 14th. Pierre Gasly 15th, Zhou Guanyu 16th, Nick De Vries 17th, Bottas 18th. And the two pit lane starters, Esteban Ocon in the Alpine P90. Not been a good weekend for Alpine this at all, has it? And then Nico Hülkenberg is last in P20. I'm sure he got a couple of points in Australia as well. So, yeah, not the best weekend for Nico Hülkenberg. As we cut back to the battle for the lead then, coming towards the end of lap 2 then, turn 15, very tricky turn 15, downhill, clip the apex, avoid the wall on the outside. Now, I think this season we get DRS at the end of lap 2. Is that right? AJ, how we doing, bro? That Red Bull is ridiculous. In fact, it is, mate. Now, there's no DRS yet. There's no DRS. DRS next lap. But look at Verstappen closing in. Does he even need DRS? It's getting pretty close. And now the DRS is enabled. So at the end of lap 2, Verstappen will have DRS down that pit straight. But Leclerc still holds on for now. But this might be the last lap of Leclerc being the leader here. Max is on a rampage, and that Red Bull is looking rapid. And I tell you what, now he's got DRS into turn 3. He nearly went for the move there. He's all over the gearbox of that Ferrari. We've got a top 3 as well because he's dragging Perez along with him. Perez looking quick as well. Replay of the start then. There was a bit of contact in the midfield. We're not seeing anything from it since, but I'm sure 2 or 3 cars come together in the mid-pack. You know, the McLaren and a McLaren and an Alfa Romeo or something. I'm looking at Piastri there, right in the middle. This is a replay. Turn. Yeah, so it is Piastri and Bottas on the outside and Kevin Magnussen. The 3 of them come together in turn 2 on lap 1. Yes, you got Piastri on the inside. Oh, and he gets clouted by a Williams on the inside. Alexander Albon. I think Albon's hit Piastri. Yeah, Albon's hit Piastri, and then it's sent Piastri into Bottas, and Magnussen's tapped the 4 cars involved in a little bit of pushing and shoving, but nothing too bad. They've all carried on the race. No one's DNF from it anyway, so we're carrying on. Maybe with little bits of front wing missing and whatever. But here comes Verstappen then with the slipstream with DRS. At the end of lap 3 then, on Charles Leclerc. Oh, he's all halfway down the straight. He's already got the move. He's down the inside. And Verstappen breezes past. DRS out, mate. We do not need DRS anymore. It's too easy. It's candy from a baby. And Max Verstappen leads the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in lap 4. All he needed was a hint of DRS, and it was game over. This sport does not need DRS anymore. It did 12 years ago. It doesn't anymore. I think try a few races without DRS and let's have a look. and I reckon everyone will be pleasantly surprised. Let them fight it out like men. No, let them fight it out properly, man. They don't need the assistance of DRS. Scrap the DRS. It's too powerful now, Mitch. When they first brought it in, yeah, it was necessary. Whatever. Nowadays, they're just cramming in as many DRS zones as you can. Can the track have 4 DRS zones? Oh, we'll do that. Can the DRS zones be longer? We'll do that. Oh, DRS here, DRS there. Chill out, man. Then, I don't think it's really necessary. Maybe at Monaco. I don't know. Maybe at a street circuit. You got to pick and choose, maybe, where you have DRS. I don't think every circuit needs DRS, to be honest with you. I think that would have been a much better fight had DRS not existed. Max would have had to go for a lunge, you know? Max would have had to get right behind him at the back end, you know, turns 16, 17. Max would have had to get right behind him, going through the fast left, right. He would have had to be right behind him. He would have had to use the slipstream battery, and he would have had to go for a lunge. And look at this now. Perez on Leclerc. Perez coming up behind Leclerc. Doesn't get the move done yet, but it's a matter of time with this ridiculously powerful DRS. But yeah, it would have made it a proper battle without DRS. I feel DRS is making it. Yeah, big fight for P2 now. Perez all over the back of Charles Leclerc. So as Verstappen pulls away in the lead. Sorry, let me get that back on the screen. What's up, bro? How's F1 going? Good, Eagle. Verstappen's taking the lead on the DRS, though. So, you know, bit of an easy move for the lead. But Leclerc's hanging on. From Sergio Perez. So it is Verstappen who leads by 0.6 of a second over Charles Leclerc. Sergio Perez then all over the back of Leclerc for P2. Sainz P4, Hamilton 5th, Alonso 6th. Alonso did have a look at Lewis Hamilton into turn 2, but backed out of it. But yeah, the battle is for P2 now between Perez and Leclerc. And I think when Perez gets this DRS now down this pit straight, it might be game, set and match. And we might be looking at a Red Bull 1-2. Does Aston have DRS today? That I do not know. If I'd have listened to the build-up, I might know that. Now, that I do not know. I hope so, is my answer to that. And Perez down the inside of Leclerc then. Oh, it's close. And he puts him firmly on the curb down the outside. But Perez gets the job done. It is a Red Bull 1-2 now then on the beginning of lap 6. Verstappen, Perez, Leclerc, top 3. Ferrari fans. What can I say? You know, it's just not quick enough, is it? It's just not quick enough. Perez might win. I hope he does. I hope Perez fights Verstappen for the win now. But nice clean pass. By 1.4 seconds. Stroll right behind Alonso as well. So Stroll only 0.6 off the back of his teammate. Then a bit of a gap of 1.6 to Norris. Russell, interestingly, up from 11th to 9th from the start. So Russell making moves. Tsunoda, I think, has lost a couple of positions, down in 10th. Then Piastri, Albon, Magnussen, Sargent, Zhou, De Vries, Bottas, Ocon, Hulkenberg, and Gasly's now P20. So Alpine 18th and 20th in the early stages of this race. Damn, son. Okay, so Lance Stroll is being told not to pass his teammate. So Alonso's going for the long game. Watching on TV, love it. Oh, mate. Live for it. I wonder if they do have DRS, Aston Martin. They've not said on the commentary that they don't have it, as we see Valtteri Bottas Bottas pits then on lap 7. First one in, and he's in for the hard tyre. Yeah, so I think a few cars at the back of the grid have pitted early. I tell you what, I'll tell you something right now, yeah. Max isn't romping away at the front here. It's still pretty close. You know what? You know what? This is not race over as I initially thought it was, you know. As of right now, you know, Leclerc is not looking too bad. You know, he's keeping up with these two Red Bulls. And Max hasn't romped away at the front. He leads Perez by about just over a second. Perez leads Leclerc by just over a second. They're not doing anything crazy, you know. Top 3 separated by 2.2 seconds. They've dropped Sainz. Fastest lap then for Sergio Perez in P2. And we have got a top 3 breakaway. The GP Max has already. Oh, the gap Max has already. You know what? The gap between Verstappen and Perez is a second dead. You know, Max isn't running away with this yet. You know, don't count the chickens yet. This is still game on. Yeah, Checo's, you know, Checo's within a second now of Verstappen on the timing screens. So, interesting. Albon in then. Yeah, there's a half a dozen guys at the back that have all pitted for hard tyres. Are they going to try and do like 43 laps on the hard tyre though? Or are they two stopping? I don't think you can pull off 43 laps on a hard tyre, can you? Maybe that's what they're doing, but I wouldn't bet on it. Here we see some battles at the back then. We've got Zhou Guanyu 14th. Right behind him, Nick De Vries 15th. Esteban Ocon in the Alpine P16. And Nico Hulkenberg P17. So the battle for 14th is raging on. But I'm just watching the gap between Verstappen and Perez and Leclerc, to be honest. This is by no means a done dish, mate. This is still cooking. Fastest lap then to Max Verstappen out in front. 1.1 seconds is the gap. Oh, they are starting to drop Leclerc now. Leclerc's dropped 2 seconds off the back of the Red Bulls. But Perez is going with him. Perez is within DRS range just. So Perez is going with Verstappen. Perez is fighting for this one today. As we see more people pit. Sargent's in the pits. Tsunoda and Piastri pit as well. So everyone from 11th down has pitted. Or should I say 12th down. Everyone from 12th down has pitted. And Alonso now all over the back of Lewis Hamilton for P5. Oh, I said this could be a good battle today. I said this could be a bit of a battle today. I'll pit Lewis now, yeah. Who do you think will win? I would like to see Perez win, Eagle. Will Red Bull tell Checo not to pass Max? Nah. I hope not, Mitch. It's still early on in the season. We're still only round 4, so it's anybody's game, the championship at the moment. If we're second half of the season and Max is 150 points ahead, yeah, you know what I mean, don't pass him. But it's early days. It's round 4. You know, Perez is only, 13 points off the championship lead? I think you've got to let him fight even Stevens. You've got to give it 50-50 at the moment. So I hope they let Perez battle Verstappen. Aston Martin playing games, but Aston Martin are quicker than they're letting on, I think. They're playing the long game. I think Verstappen will win. I hope Perez wins. Eagle. Pit loose now, yeah. It might be the win. It's fighting for that top one. Oh, look at how close Perez is behind Verstappen, mate. Perez is within half a second. Perez is going for this. I tell you what, mate. We have got a race on here. Perez is not about to just lay over and... You know what I mean? Perez is in for the fight today. Half a second. Perez looking quick. 4/10 as they pit Lewis Hamilton and Lando Norris. So, yeah, Hamilton's pitted just like you said, Carl. Lewis is a pit. Oh, man, I know, Jordan. I was saying when it happened, we got to think about this DRS. I think we've got to seriously look at this DRS and think, is it really necessary? Because I think without DRS, it would have been a much more interesting fight between Verstappen and Leclerc for the lead. It would have been a much more interesting fight. You know, I was saying Verstappen would have had to get close to him at the last. It would have made it all more tactical. He would have had to get close at the back end of the lap. He would have had to really think about it and have to go for a lunge. But because he's got DRS, he cruised past. So it's making it too easy. They both crashed due to the battle. It's happened before, eh? Verstappen and Ricciardo. Probably the most iconic moment here at Baku. Oh, we've got a car gone straight on. Nick de Vries as well. This is changing everything now. This is changing everything now. Nick de Vries is not in the wall, but he's facing the wrong way, and they're being told to pit. So Verstappen pits then. Oh, mate. Oh. Hang on a minute. So yellow flags are out. Is Nick de Vries still parked at the apex? We need to cut to Nick de Vries. So Perez is... So Verstappen's pitted. Preempting a safety car, I guess. Hamilton... Safety car. Safety car. I think this massively disadvantages Sergio Perez. I don't know, mate. This is just turned on its head. The safety car's out. Right. Nick de Vries has gone straight on at turn 6. I think that's turn 6. Right. And he's had to stop there. And he's not put it in reverse. He just stuck out on circuit. So, full safety car. So, Perez leads. Right. This would be very interesting to see if it benefits Perez or hinders Perez. Very interesting. Very interesting. De Vries failing, mate. Rest in peace. Yeah, R.I.P. Lewis. I know. I don't know how this is going to pan out. I'm very interested to see how this is going to pan out. Is it going to benefit the people that have already done the stop? Benefit the people that are just about to do the stop? We're about to find out. So Dev gave up. He has, yeah. Mate, De Vries is just give it up, lad. He's like, he's locked up going into turn 6. Nearly at the wall and thought, oh, I can't. No, I'm not doing this. I don't know why he was not able to just to whack it in reverse and continue on his way. But either which way, Nick de Vries is out of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. He's not a good weekend. He did look rapid in FP1, did de Vries. Since then, it's been a disaster class. De Vries is out of the race. And now people start hitting the pits. So Ferraris are in. Leclerc's into the pits. Meanwhile, we've got Verstappen on board going down the pit straight. How is this going to pan out? I think Verstappen might have lost out. Oi, 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 oi. I think Verstappen might have lost out here. Oi, wait there. Where are they? Where are the guys that pitted? I feel like Verstappen's lost out, mate. I feel like Leclerc's jumped Verstappen with all this. Leclerc's jumped Verstappen, mate. It's Perez, Leclerc, Verstappen. Mate. Leclerc's done Verstappen in all this chaos, mate. It's Perez, Leclerc, Verstappen top 3. Sainz 4th. Alonso 5th. Russell, what? Right, it's benefited the people that are pitted after the safety car's been dropped, this. Because it's benefited Leclerc It's benefited Alonso. It's benefited Russell. It's hindered Hamilton and Verstappen, this. Perez, Leclerc, 1-2. Championship back on, mate. Verstappen, third, Eagle. Yes. This is it, SHT. This is it. Race on, Dan. You know it. Ocon climbed all the way up. Yeah. I didn't even clock that, Carl. Esteban Ocon rocking in P8. Nico Hulkenberg. It's benefited them massively. They just stayed out because they pitted about 5 laps ago, didn't they? Ooh. Okay, baby. Verstappen will be fuming. Yes, Ernesto. Long time no see, mate. Welcome into the channel. You join us during a safety car period. Where safety car that has shaken up this race a treat. We are on lap 12 of 51. Safety car's out. After Nick De Vries did this, he's clipped the wall. Oh, okay, he's broken the suspension. Oh, okay. We'll see exactly what Nick De Vries has done now. He's clipped the wall on the inside of turn 5. Yeah, and he's just snapped the suspension. We see this kind of thing in Monaco a lot. He's just clipped the wall on the inside. He's broken his front left suspension, and he's basically just ground to a halt then at the next corner, hence why he gave up. He didn't just give up, he snapped his suspension and therefore is out of the race. As we see Russell and Stroll going side by side in the pit lane, I don't know why I've got an itch here. Stroll and Russell side by side in the pit lane. Wow, I can see George Russell getting in trouble for that. He shouldn't be going side by side in the pit lane like that. Replay on board with Charles Leclerc then. It is close though. It is close, the Perez Leclerc in the pit lane. But the Russell Stroll scenario in the pit lane, I can see Russell getting in trouble for that. But yeah, we are behind the safety car. And the order is Perez, Leclerc, Verstappen, Sainz, Alonso, Russell, Stroll, Ocon, Hulkenberg, Hamilton, top 10. So Hamilton, Verstappen lost out here. Yes, Ernesto, it has been a while, mate. It has been a while, but welcome back. Alonso made the right decision to go long. Yeah. Yeah, so Alonso has ended up 5th. So he's gained. So, yeah, Perez has made up a place. So has Leclerc. Verstappen's lost 2. Sainz has stayed where he was. Alonso's made a place. Russell's made up 3 places. I think Stroll stayed where he was. Ocon and Hulkenberg, mate. They made up about 12 places. But, yeah, that's the top 10. Yeah, Hamilton lost 5 places. Yeah, Hamilton down 5 places. You're right. He's the biggest loser in this. Yeah, Lewis Hamilton has... it's not worked out for him, has it? And then 11th Norris, 12th Snowder, 13th Piastri. We've got Joe, Albon, Gasly, Magnussen, Sargent, Bottas, and De Vries is out. And De Vries is the one who's caused this. But, yeah, race on now. Verstappen from P3. He's going to have to pass Leclerc again. He's going to have to challenge. The thing is, I don't think Perez is going to... it's not going to be easy for Max to win this now. Perez is good round here. Did Perez win this race last year? I feel like Perez won this race last year. He certainly has won here in the past, if not last year, perhaps the year before, but Perez is good, you know, around these street circuits. And I think from here now, Perez has got to think, I've got to win now from here. This is a golden opportunity. You've got Max out of the way via safety car. And Perez has to go on and win this race now. If he wants to sniff at this championship, I know it's only round 4, but Perez has to win races like this. He has to take opportunities like this. Leclerc trying it around the outside, then the race is back underway in Azerbaijan. And look at the Russell and Stroll, is it? What, Lance Stroll's done Russell, mate. Stroll has done Russell. And here comes Verstappen for second then on Charles Leclerc. Side by side into turn 3. Go on, Leclerc. Fight him, lad. Fight him round the outside. Oh, give it up, laddie. Give it up. He's given Verstappen this place and Verstappen up to second. And look at Alonso down sides. Go on, Alonso. Alonso takes sides into turn 5. Go on, Fernando. Go on, Fernando. What a move out of nowhere. Fernando Alonso takes P4. He's going for another podium. He's going for quadruple podiums. It's Fernando Alonso. What a move. This race has just livened up a treat, mate. A cheeky safety car mid-race is always spices it up a little bit. So it's now Perez, Verstappen. I wish Leclerc had fought that a little bit harder. Yeah, cheers, Farhan. Yeah, do drop me a like if you haven't already, guys. It really could help out the channel and help it get going a little bit. We've got 5 races in the next 6 weeks, so I'm hoping to gain a little bit of momentum on the channel. I know it's been dead for a month, but yeah, dropping a like really does help. Subscribe as well if you haven't already. I'll be live for every single race this season, at least, provided Dan Davis swaps me the shifts, mate. I'll pay you anything you want. But yeah, Perez and Verstappen, 1-2 now. What a camera angle that is. But yeah, welcome to the stream, Ernesto. It's been a while, bruv. Perez fastest lap then. Oh, look at this then. Sainz is fighting back. Oh, we've got some action here then. Lewis Hamilton down the inside of his teammate. Hamilton takes P7 off George Russell. So Hamilton on a charge. Russell having another look into turn 2. But Hamilton, I couldn't even tell with the sunlight who that was going into turn 1 there. I was like, some action. But it was the 2 Mercedes going side by side into turn 1. And Hamilton passes Russell for P7. It is now Perez, Verstappen, Leclerc, Alonso up to 4. Sainz, Stroll, Hamilton, Russell, Ocon, Hulkenberg, top 10. Great first lap after the restart, that. We had a few moves there, didn't we? Here's a replay then of Verstappen versus Leclerc. It's too easy, mate. I feel like Leclerc could have fought that harder, mate. Leclerc could have fought that harder. Max had the inside line, but the thing is, Leclerc's ahead like this, and Leclerc just breaks earlier. And but Fernando, mate, has pulled off one heck of a move, mate. Fernando the racer. Yeah, mate, Fernando's pulled off a hell of a move. And this is Hamilton on Russell, a replay, down into turn 1. Wow, that was close. Wow, keep that. I've got an itchy nose here. I think must be getting a spot or something. By the end of the stream, big red boil on the end of my nose. Lush tree. And it's lush. What experience. Oh my God, what an experience, Jay. Unsafe release, is it? Alonso and Stroll with another great restart. I know, they're on the move, innit? Chief Verstappen's in chat, mate. Welcome in. Hey, Max is on the rampage here. He's hunting down his teammate, but Perez is looking quick. I tell you what, Chief. Perez is no pushover in Baku, you know. Your driver might win 19 out of the 23 races, but it might not be today. You know, Perez is good around here. Oh. And Hamilton now closing up on the back of Lance Stroll. The Mercedes not looking too bad, actually, in race pace. Perez noted for unsafe release, right? So they're looking into it. They're looking into it. I think it was marginal, but I think it was just about okay. I wouldn't give him a penalty for that. I wouldn't call that an unsafe release. I'd call it, ooh, that were a bit close. But it's not, I wouldn't give him a penalty for that. He's not caused Leclerc to Oh, Stroll's clipped the wall on the inside of 5, just like De Vries. Oh, Stroll's clapped the wall on the inside of turn 5. Wow. I tell you what, he's lucky to get away with that, is Stroll. Dude, that was the same corner that De Vries has just snapped his front suspension on. So Lance Stroll getting away with one there. No further action confirmed. Yellow flag. Ooh, there's a brief yellow flag there, but we're back to green again. Yeah, I think it would have been harsh to give Perez a penalty from that. I mean, it was just about, it's sort of, as Leclerc was coming in, he was coming out, and they just sort of crossed over like that. It wasn't like Leclerc was like, whoa, and then, you know, it was on the limit, really. But they got away with it. And, yeah, Hamilton hunting down Lance Stroll then for P6. Pit entry incident involving car number 63, Russell review. No further investigation. See, that one there, Russell has got away with one. Going side by side in the pit lane that's a risky thing, man. I don't know how Russell has got away with that. That's a bit of an unusual one, really. You would think that'd be a slam dunk penalty, really, racing in the pit lane, but okay. Vettel did that China 16. I know, he did, yeah. But you're talking 7 years ago, man. You don't normally see that, though. It's a bit of a weird one. Maybe he just thought Lance Stroll was going a bit too slow and thought, I'll do him in the pit lane. Which you would think would definitely not be allowed, you know. He's got away with it. And he's in 8th, is Russell. So he did benefit from the safety car coming in, but since then he's lost a few positions as George. Replay on board with Kevin Magnussen then into turn 1. What goes on with him? Oh, he's down the inside then. Nice move from Kevin, looks like. Whoa, just about. Oh, and then... wow. Flipping huge moment for Kevin Magnussen. And whoever he overtook got the switchback on him, and Zhou Guanyu got the switchback on him and soon recovered the move. Yeah, that was a full lunge from Kevin Magnussen there, who's down in 17th and nearly ended up in the wall. Huge for Alonso to clear Sainz. Mate, Alonso, what a move that was. Really struggling. Fernando's pulling away. Yeah, Alonso 1.5 seconds ahead of Sainz then. I tell you what. So what's the gap between Perez and Verstappen, actually? 1.4. I told you, this is not going to be an easy win for Max Verstappen. If he does pull this off, Perez isn't going to make it easy for him. Alonso radio, tell Lance brake balance suggested. Alonso helping out his teammates, saying, tell Stroll about my brake balance. Well, I tell you what, yeah, Alonso in his mature years is good teamwork, yeah. Good teamwork, Fernando Alonso, saying tell Lance to use the brake balance I'm using. Works out pretty well. So, fair enough, mate. I rate it. Yeah, so the gap between Perez and Verstappen, 1.4. So Perez is keeping Verstappen out of DRS range, crucially. They have dropped Leclerc by 6 seconds now. We're on lap 19 of 51. So we're not even mid-race distance yet, and Leclerc is 6 seconds behind the Red Bulls. Alonso only 2 behind Leclerc. Interesting. Is Alonso quicker in race pace than the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc around the streets of Baku? That could be something that develops as we go. Wow. Esteban Ocon has brushed the wall on the exit of turn 15 there and lived to tell the tale. Wow. That was seriously on the edge of... Oh, what's going on? Perez 1.6, mate. I tell you now, Perez is looking good. 1.6 seconds the lead between Perez and Verstappen out front. Stroll's gone off. Oh, big opportunity for Lewis Hamilton now. Hamilton has to capitalise on this. Stroll's gone wide on the exit of turn 17, and now Lewis is going to get the slipstream and the DRS. Lewis has to get this move done now. Stroll slipped up under pressure. Here comes Lewis Hamilton then. They're side by side, but look at the straight line speed of the Aston Martin. Even with DRS, the Mercedes is only just about quicker, and Lewis gets the move done then. P6 for Lewis Hamilton into turn 1, and Stroll under pressure, ran wide at the exit at turn 17 and turn 16, and Lewis is through. So Hamilton up to P6. One mistake, are you done? That's it. Like, you can't do that. No SHT. You can't be doing that. You can't park there, sir. You can't be doing that, honestly. If Aston get both cars in the top 5, they'll definitely take it, considering. Yeah, they will. Oh, definitely they'll consider it. I think they're looking at perhaps a 3rd and 6th. You know, I'll be interested to see if... what's the gap between Alonso and Leclerc? Is Leclerc quicker than Alonso right now? 2.6, 2.7. Oh, it's about even, isn't it? It's about even, really. That's the most interesting thing for me, really. Is Alonso quicker than Leclerc? Oh, I think Leclerc might be just a titch quicker, innit? 2.8 the gap between Leclerc and Alonso. It's pretty evenly matched. Maybe Leclerc just a tiny bit quicker. But Verstappen closing in on Perez a little bit now. The gap was 1.6. It's now 1.2. Verstappen is closing in on his teammate. Leclerc is quicker because the Ferrari is quicker. Yeah, the Ferrari is quicker. Here comes Russell then on the back of Lance Stroll. Stroll versus Russell for P7 is the biggest battle out on track at the moment. We're on lap 21 out of 51. Here they come down into turn 3, but I tell you what, the straight line speed of that Aston Martin is going to make it pretty difficult for it to pass. I tell you what, Hamilton's recovered well, considering he was put on the back foot with that safety car. Lewis has got it back to P6. Not bad. Replay with Sergio Perez then at turn 15. Oh, and does he brush the wall with the rear of the car? Ooh, by an inch. By an inch. Sergio Perez under pressure from Max Verstappen just misses the wall. This is a serious battle between Perez and Verstappen, this. They have put Leclerc firmly in the bin. The gap's 8.6 seconds. This is the two Red Bulls. Nothing held back. Absolutely going for it. 1.2 seconds the gap between Perez and Verstappen. 8.6 to Leclerc. Yeah, Leclerc's got the measure on Alonso at the minute. He's opening about a 1/10 of a second a lap on Alonso. So Leclerc's got the measure of Alonso. A gap about 3 seconds now. Sainz 1.6 behind Alonso. And Hamilton 1.1. So Hamilton almost in DRS of the Ferrari. A Sainz for P5. We're watching on board with George Russell in 8th. 7/10 of a second behind Stroll. So Russell looking decent. Sainz team radio. Okay, so Sainz, Ferrari are happy with Sainz's tyres and telling him to push on, basically. Alonso might need to DNF from one of the top 3. Yeah, he will. I was just thinking that, actually, a few laps ago. I was thinking he's going to need a drama between the top 3. You know, a bit of a Red Bull clash. Imagine that. No, yeah, I feel like Alonso's going to need a bit of luck to get another podium. He's looking dead down the barrel at P4, isn't he? If it stays like this, Mercedes is still dragging on the straights. Yeah, it is. It is. I'm waiting for the big Mercedes update in Imola in a couple of weeks. I think they're going down a entirely different concept route. Our Mercedes. I think we're going to see Mercedes W4 Team B in a couple of races' time, and see what they can do from there on to the end of the season. Stroll is maintaining the gap. Yeah. Russell's within DRS just, but the straight line speed of that Aston is keeping Stroll with enough of a gap where Russell can't really go for it. Russell can't really go for a lunge from there. Hamilton, team radio was seeing degradation on the tyres. As we look at the battle between Gasly v Albon for 14th. Verstappen still not closed in. Hulkenberg versus Ocon into turn 3. They're having a look. So this is the battle for the back end of the points then. Ocon P9, Hulkenberg P10, and then they're bringing along Norris with them, and Tsunoda's right there as well in P12 in this train of 4 cars. But yeah, no, you're right. Verstappen's still not closed the gap. Gap 1.4. So Perez is matching Verstappen at the moment and needs to. Perez has to win this one. They go 2-2 on wins. The gap going into Miami would be about 6-7 points. Yeah, you know what? If Perez wants a shot at this championship, he needs to win with opportunities like today. You know, gap 1.2. Russell Team Radio saying Stroll's is struggling. Stroll's struggling. Hamilton's coming for Sainz. He is. Hamilton within DRS range of Sainz. And here we go then. Cut to Russell versus Stroll as well. So we've got 2 battles going on here. We've got a Russell v Stroll for 7th. Hamilton v Sainz for 5th. Could be inbound. But yeah, Russell v Stroll for P7 is hotting up nicely then. Lap 24 of 51. And George Russell looking decent in that Mercedes. Looking... maybe Lance Stroll's tyres starting to go off a little bit. Here we go then. Cut to Hamilton v Sainz. And the gap is close, mate. The gap 3/4 of a second between Sainz and Hamilton. And I'll tell you what. You know, a combination of the Mercedes not looking too bad and Sainz being off the pace of his teammate has come to this middle ground where Sainz and Hamilton fighting over P5. Lewis has been good since the restart. Since the safety car restart. Perez is always sick driving the years, man. You know, this is where he's strongest. That's why I'm saying he on a day like this, he has to win now. You know, he's been given this opportunity with the safety car. He has to pull it through now. Because if you don't win on a day like this, you know, what chance do you stand when you're on a Max Verstappen weekend where he's dominating every session? What chance are you standing then? You know, these are the opportunities you've got to grab if you're Sergio Perez and you've got dreams of challenging for the championship. So I hope Sergio goes on to win this, but we're not even half race distance yet. Look at this train of cars then from P9 all the way down to about 15th. Nose to tail then. Ocon in 9th down to Magnussen 15th on nose to tail. Sainz is losing so much time to Alonso. Is now 3 seconds back. And look at the gap. Look at the gap between Leclerc and Alonso's coming down. It was 2.8, now 2.3. See, podium not fully out of reach for Fernando Alonso. Alonso's quick, man. He's quicker than Sainz, and he's matching Leclerc. Red Bulls are in a league of their own, aren't they, this season? It's unfortunate, but the Aston Martin can't challenge this. The Ferrari can't challenge this. This, I don't want to say it, but this could be a season where Red Bull win every single race. I hope not, but that Red Bull is in a different league. And when they're scrapping amongst each other, when they're not easing off, when they're fighting against each other like they are today, we're seeing the true pace of it, because neither of them are holding back, and they're just pulling out like a second on Leclerc per lap. They're leaving the rest of the field for dead. And, it's not an ideal scenario for the sport, is it? When you've got one team absolutely romping away at the front, it's never good, but it is what it is, man. Ocon and Hulkenberg hasn't stopped, both starting on hards. Yeah, Ocon and Hulkenberg still going from the beginning. Yeah, that's why the safety car benefited them. Everyone else pitted. They stayed out, and because Hulkenberg and Ocon were at the back, weren't they? From the pit lane, in fact, weren't they? So from the pit lane start to P9 and P10 for Ocon and Hulkenberg. But how long can they hold on to this? The pack's closing in. Norris is right there. Tsunoda, Piastri, Albon, Magnussen are right there. So how long can they hold on to it? Nico Hulkenberg yet to pit. P10. Hulkenberg had a chance at a podium here once in a Renault. I remember it. I think he was either in a podium place or he was like P4 or something, and he binned it in the narrow part going towards turn 8, and he binned it and ended up with 3 wheels on his wagon, and that was probably Hulkenberg's best chance at a podium. He's had a few chances at a podium as Nico Hulkenberg, but it's never quite worked out well for him. But he sits in P10 today at the moment, having yet to stop. But he'd do well to get a point out of this one. Hockenheim 2019, maybe that as well. Because he's scuppered a few chances. So probably both. Hockenheim 2019, but definitely here. One of the Renault years, it'd be 18, 19, somewhere around there. He fluffed a chance here. It was probably the one where it was like Stroll on the podium. You know what I mean? It was probably that race. Is that like 18? Where Stroll and Bottas went side by side on the podium. I think it was around there. We got a replay on board with Nico Hulkenberg. They're down the hill into turn 15. Oh, he touched the wall on the right hand side before we even got to the corner. I think I've done that on the F1 game in the past. Clip the wall there. I've done the same on the F1 game as what Hulkenberg's just done there. Clip the wall on the outside in the braking zone into turn 15. Yeah, it seems quite a clumsy one, but top 4 in a league of their own. Yeah. Yeah, you have got a top 4. There is a top 4 teams and then a big gap and then everybody else. You've got a top 4 and a bottom 6, haven't you, really? Yeah. Well, really? No, in fact, you've got 3 leagues. You've got Red Bull in League 1, Ferrari, Aston and Mercedes, League 2, and then everyone else in League 3. That's how it is this season. That's how it is. Red Bull at the front, Ferrari, Aston and Mercedes fighting for third to eighth, third to 10th, and then everybody else then scrapping for the final point. You know what I mean? That's how it is. But you know what is good about this season? There's no dog team. There's no one out there who is 19th and 20th every week. So that's good. Because we've had a few seasons where you've got like Haas 19th and 20th every week, or before that Williams 19th and 20th every week, and they're just absolutely crap. They're 5 seconds off the pace, have no chance. At least we've not got that. You know, we've got a different guy lining up last every day, every week. So there isn't that crap team. So anybody in that bottom 6 teams could end up P19 and 20 on the grid at any given weekend. This weekend it's Alpine. They have had a nightmare. Well, mind you, I'm saying they've had a nightmare. Ocon's up there in P9. He won't finish P9 because he's got a pit. Stroll and Russell now coming for Hamilton. Yeah, how is this all working out? Leclerc and Alonso are evenly matched. Gap still 2.2. Yeah, Hamilton's dropped off the back of Sainz now. It was 3/4 of a second. It's now 1.7. Russell's still behind Stroll, 1.1 seconds a gap. I tell you what, Tsunoda behind Norris is what we want to see. And yeah, and as Ted Kravitz is saying in the pit lane, Perez, in this last few laps, Perez has pulled a second over Verstappen. The gap between Perez and Verstappen out front now 2.2 seconds. It was 1.2. Sergio Perez is looking very good today. Looking very good today. He's won the sprint race yesterday. And he's looking good today as well, is Sergio Perez. We are looking at Lando Norris in P11 then. So yeah, Ocon is holding everybody up basically. you got a top 8 and then you've got Ocon holding up the rest of the field. But yeah, Perez has gapped Verstappen a little bit. 2.3 seconds the gap between Perez and Verstappen out front. 13 seconds to Leclerc. Leclerc might stand on the podium today, but he's been nowhere near it. Been nowhere near it. Alonso now starting to close on Leclerc. 1.8 the gap. Alonso podium, Dan. I back it. Alonso starting to reel in Leclerc. 1.8 seconds the gap. That's the most interesting thing about this race for now for me. Alonso closing in on the Ferrari. It could be the same 3 drivers on the podium for the first 4 races, this. Oh no. Yeah, would it be? Have the first 3 podiums been Verstappen, Perez and Alonso every time? Yeah, it'd be 4 in a row, wouldn't it? No one else has stood on the podium other than them 3, have they? I think it's been Verstappen, Perez, Alonso, Perez, Verstappen, Alonso, Verstappen, Perez, Alonso. That's 3 races. And we're looking at Perez, Verstappen, Alonso. No, it's Verstappen, Perez, Leclerc at the minute. It would be nice to see someone else get a podium, though. You know, it'd be nice to see Mercedes get one, Ferrari get one, an outsider get one, you know, real underdog podium. Only Max and Alonso so far. Oh, Perez P5 in Australia. Did Russell get a podium in Australia? No. I've forgotten. It was a month ago. Fernando's on his way, mate. Fernando's on his way. Oh, yeah. Hamilton P2. Alonso P3. Wow. It's been that long since the last race. Jeez, I need a refresher. Look at this. Here comes Alonso, mate. A second is the gap now. A second the gap between Leclerc and Alonso for third. Fernando. Oh, I tell you what. We're going to be coming up to pit stops again. Mate, these guys are going to pit again, I reckon. 20 laps to go. Perez is doing very well today. 2.3 seconds still. The gap at the front. Alonso now right on the edge of being within DRS range for P3. Go on then, Fernando. He's absolutely on it. Charles will be looking in their mirrors now and thinking, Jesus, this guy's rapid. And they've absolutely dropped Sainz as well. Sainz is 9 seconds behind this. Hamilton 1.3 off the back of Sainz. Stroll 1.2 off him. Russell 1.2 off Stroll. And then still Ocon holding up the second half of the field. Which... unbelievably Sainz. I know. I was just saying. Leclerc and Alonso have absolutely dropped Sainz. You know, they're in a different league. So it's not been Sainz this weekend, has it, this? You know, he'll be happy to take a few points and move on to Miami, won't he, Sainz? I don't know if Sainz is the one, you know. I don't know if Sainz is the one, you know. Has he only won one race, Sainz? British Grand Prix. I don't know about Carlos Sainz. I'm not convinced. I mean, if I'm Ferrari, do I go and try and get Lando Norris? Probably. I don't know about Sainz, man. He's been well off it this weekend. He generally makes a few mistakes. I don't know. Well, Alonso's dropped off the back of Leclerc a bit now. The gap 1.8. It was as low as a second. This is the battle for 18th. Here comes Pierre Gasly. And a nice move from Pierre Gasly on Valtteri Bottas then for 18th. Gap between Perez and Verstappen out front, 2.5 seconds. And Alonso dropping off the back of Leclerc now. He's had a few laps closing in, and all of a sudden it's gone back to 2.2 again. So Alonso is dropping off hard, mate. You need to pit that Aston. at this rate. Yes, Kim, welcome in. Signs needs to be a bit concerned. He does, man. Can't stay but enjoy. Yeah, no worries, Kim. Cheers for popping in. Appreciate it. Because there's 3 cars quite close behind him. Yeah, you know, Hamilton, Stroll, and Russell are not that far away, are they? Albon podium still on? Yeah, I reckon Albon could still sneak a win out of this car. You know, if everything goes his way, I reckon Albon will, you know, don't rule the win out for Alexander Albon. Yeah, P14. Alexander Albon will take a point right now. He'll shake your hand for a point right now. He's stuck in this train. You see, you've got Ocon from P9 down to 15th, are still just in this train. When will Ocon and Hulk stop? Lap 50. I know. When will they stop? Is everyone going to the end now? Well, obviously, Ocon and Hulkenberg can't because they're not allowed. You've got to have at least one stop. But is everyone else going to the end? Is that it? Is this one stop? Oh, Perez brushes the wall on the right hand side on the. Wow, yeah, Perez clipped the wall just like Hulkenberg did a few laps ago. Perez clipped the wall on the outside in the braking zone into 15. Fastest lap, Max Verstappen. 2.2 seconds the gap between Perez and Verstappen out front. So there's 16 seconds on Leclerc. Leclerc's now pulled away from Alonso. 2.6 is the gap there. But yeah, I think this is just a one-stop thing, isn't it? You know, I think from here, what if you got 16 laps? If you got 16 laps, what are you going to do? Bang a set of softs on now? I think everyone's staying out. Obviously, Ocon and Hulkenberg will have to pit and finish last. It just is what it is, unfortunately. Yeah, so Sainz being told on the radio they're happy with tyre life to go to the end. Pit stop. Valtteri Bottas onto the medium tyre. He's had a nightmare today, Valtteri Bottas. It's not been Alfa Romeo's day. Down in 16th and 19th. Perez has got 2.5 seconds on Verstappen now. Fastest lap, Sergio Perez. So it's just a one stop around the time the safety car came out on like lap 12, onto the hard tyre, and then nurse it all the way home. I prefer more pit stops. 2 or 3 pit stops a race is decent. One stop races, you know what I mean? You never have a phenomenal race with a one stop, do you? 2.6. I tell you what, Perez is opening up the gap. 2.7, 2.8. I tell you what. Sergio's got this covered, mate. Hamilton's on the back of Sainz again. He is. Yeah, that is the closest battle on track right now. If you forget about the train from 9th down, Hamilton has re-caught Carlos Sainz for 5th. Leclerc and Alonso gap is 3.5 seconds. But Hamilton now is getting within DRS range of Carlos Sainz's Ferrari for 5th. Come on then, Lewis. Perez to win the championship. Imagine. Imagine, Carl. I'd like to see Perez lead the championship. Shocking for Sainz, I know. Yeah, Sainz not having a good weekend and now under big pressure from Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton with DRS then. We're on lap 37 of 51 and Lewis is all over the back of that Ferrari. Half a second the gap then. He's going to have DRS down. I don't like this graphic they've got on screen where they've got like a... It looks like a tow rope between the two cars. I don't like that. It's making it like a PlayStation game. I don't rate that. Unnecessary graphic. Who's got a stomach bug? Oh, Zhou's been retired from the race. Oh, Oscar Piastri. Oscar Piastri's ill. And Zhou Guanyu retires from the race then. So De Vries clipping the wall at turn 5 and Zhou Guanyu just retires with some sort of mechanical issue. So it's only 2 retirements from the race. So not as chaotic as previous years here in Baku. Hamilton 8/10 behind Sainz. Then down the back straight they come. Or down the pit straight, should I say. 3/4 of a second between them. And Stroll and Russell not too far behind as well. And then a huge gap of 16 seconds to Ocon and Hülkenberg, who are still holding up the second half of the grid. They're just in this big DRS train. In fact, there's a bit of a gap now between Tsunoda and Piastri forming. Still waiting to see when they will come in. I know. They show 2 DRS back to back. Yeah, Zhou Guanyu. Difficult one. Difficult to judge. Difficult to draw any conclusions under Zhou Guanyu, isn't it? Are they looking at sticking a set of soft tyres on Lewis Hamilton here? Mercedes getting ready for a pit stop. Lap 38 out of 51. Everyone's on a one stop except a couple of the guys at the back. But virtually 99% of the field's on a one stop. And Mercedes are getting ready with some tyres in the garage. I don't get it, SH team. A set of mediums? Really? I don't know. I think they're bluffing. Gasly all over the back of Logan Sargent for 16th then. The thing is, at some point, Ocon and Hülkenberg got to come in. Do you know what I mean? And that frees up then. So Norris could get a couple of points out of this. Tsunoda could scrape a point out of this, basically. Gap between Perez and Verstappen, 3.5 seconds now. I think it's done and dusted, mate. I think Perez has done him. Perez has got this covered. 3.6 seconds. Alonso settled for fourth as well. He's 4.3 behind Leclerc now. Hamilton's still all over the back of Sainz. This is the closest battle on circuit though. Gasly and Sargent for 16th, but Hamilton's still within DRS range of Sainz for 5th. Russell 1.3 off Stroll for 7th, so that's pretty close. Norris and Tsunoda are right behind Hülkenberg as well now. Yeah, Tsunoda and Norris and Hülkenberg and really nose to tail. Second and a half covers the three of them. I don't get that strat. No, I don't. I don't think they'll pit. No, I don't think he'll get Leclerc. They're talking about Alonso going and getting Leclerc. I don't think so. 4.5 seconds now, the gap. 11 laps to go. If Lewis pits, it'll come out very part. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They can't pit Lewis now. He'll come out of the back of that train, you know, and then he'll have to overtake 7 or 8, 9 drivers. No. No, you can't pit now. It's suicide. Lewis all over the gearbox of Sainz's Ferrari now. Are they even going to pit? Well, they've got to pit at some point. They might come in on lap 50. You know, I don't know. They might pit at the end of lap 50. You know? Start lap 51. Pit stop. Vettel did that once in Italy, didn't he? In 2010, 2011. I'm sure Vettel pitted on the last lap. Hey, I remember Michael Schumacher winning a race in the pit lane. Was that the British Grand Prix? Battling with Hakkinen, did he pit on the last lap and literally cross the finish line in the pit lane? Oh, Michael Schumacher used to do some mad stuff, mate. I don't know if they let him keep that win or not, but maybe Ocon and Hülkenberg will try that strat. They'll go, right, let's pit on the last lap and cross the finish line in the pit lane. That's the strat, SHT. Four tenths. Sainz having to defend in turn 3 from Hamilton a little bit. But Hamilton still just a little bit too far to make a move. 0.4 of a second is the gap. Is Max having one final go at this? Gap under 3 seconds now at the front. It was 3.6, so Max has reeled Perez in by half a second in the last couple of laps. So is Max having one last punt at this? 10 laps to go. Gap at the front, 3 seconds. They've dropped Leclerc by 17. Alonso's still P4. 4 seconds off Leclerc. But this is the battle. This is the battle we are watching right now. It's Hamilton versus Sainz for 5th. Down the pit straight they come then to start lap 42. And Hamilton's got DRS. Is it going to be enough? No, not quite enough. Not quite enough top end speed on the Mercedes to really go for the move. Now, can he line him up down into turn 3? Here we go then. Second DRS zone. Come on then, Lewis. It's looking a bit closer. He's got the slipstream. He's got the DRSs, Lewis. Is he going to go for it? Has a little look into turn 3, but can't go for it yet. Just a little bit too far behind to go for a lunge there on Sainz. But he's getting close, is Lewis. On board. Pierre Gasly, 17th. Looking at the back of the Williams of Logan Sargent for 16th. Into turn 1 they go then. Oh, Verstappen. Oh, Verstappen almost clipped the wall on the exit of turn 15. And then again, it looks like the exit of turn 2 or the exit of turn 3. Verstappen getting extremely close to the wall. Maybe is this him pushing to catch him in the final couple of laps? But the gap is 3.2 seconds. Perez has had this race covered. Perez has been fantastic this weekend. Absolutely fantastic this weekend. And he's beaten Verstappen today. Well, there's still 7 laps to go. I need to chill, but Perez has done extremely well this weekend. And needs to. If he wants to have a glimmer of hope of fighting for this championship, you have to, a sprint race win and a Grand Prix win this weekend is just the medicine that you need to close that gap. And it's still very early days, round 4 of 23. We're still in the opening stages of the season, but it's crucial, You can't let Max gain like a 50-point lead now. It's like dead. So he's just keeping Max in tow. And fair play to Perez, man. He's driven very well this weekend. Gap 3.5 seconds. Alonso 4 seconds off Leclerc. Hamilton still can't get past Sainz. He's still stuck there 7-8 tenths behind. Russell now on the back of Stroll. Russell now is within DRS of Stroll. Replay on board. Nico Hulkenberg down to turn 15 on the brakes. Oh, and clips the outside of clips the barrier with his right rear tyre there. Oh, just gets away with it. He just brushes the Tech Pro barrier with his rear right tyre and gets away with that one. But Gasly is past Sargent then into turn 1 for 16th. Cut to Sainz v Hamilton. Hamilton team radio. Hamilton requesting more power. Can you go strat 12? Here we go then. Lewis with DRS then down to turn 3. Oh, he has a look. He gets close enough into turn 3 to have a little look, but he's not quite close enough to lunge it. Oh, Conor Hulkenberg is still going. Yeah, it's exactly SHC. I just clocked it as well. Conor Hulkenberg is still going, bro. Do they know that you have to pit? Are they aware? I wonder what would happen, penalty-wise, if they just didn't pit and they just were like, nah, you know what? I know it's in the rules. You've got to make a pit stop. We don't back it. We just finish and take the penalty. Because, I tell you now, right? What would they do? Because the penalty could be the lesser of two evils. If they get a 10-second penalty, mate, pit stop's 25 seconds, so it's a dub. No, they'd have to get a serious... would they get disqualified, I wonder? Would they get thrown out of the result if they just didn't pit? Imagine Gunter Steiner listen, He's on the phone to the FIA now. What's the penalty for not pitting? And they're like, 10 seconds added onto your race. Right, perfect. We're not stopping, bro. So just be ready, mate. The penalty has to be more severe than a pit stop. Or else there's no point, or else no one to pit. But no one's ever tested it, though, have they? No one's ever broken that rule, as far as I know. Yes, Jay. Yeah, drop me a thumbs up, guys, if you haven't already. Help the channel grow a little bit. Help new people find it. Because we've got, like I said before, we've got 5 races in the next 6 weeks. So hopefully get the channel moving in the right direction a little bit. It's become pretty stagnant over the last 6 months or so. So it'd be nice to get the channel growing a little bit again. So yeah, please do drop me a like. And yeah, subscribe for more Formula 1 watch-alongs for the foreseeable future. I think Sainz has got Lewis covered here. I mean, the gap's staying at 7 or 8 tenths unless Lewis goes for a mad lunge or Sainz makes a mistake. We've got about 5 laps to go. And Norris passes Hulkenberg, and Ted Kravitz is giving it full celebration. He's like, woohoo, Lando. I know. I back it. Lando Norris up to P10. I'll tell you what, that move's been coming for 50 laps. Yeah, Hulkenberg's tyres have gone off, and Norris passes him into turn 7 then. So Norris up into the points positions. Ocon pulling away for it. Yeah, Ocon's managed this beautifully. I know, Norris got Hulk finally. Yeah, Tsunoda could end up getting a point out of this, I reckon. Yeah. Here comes Tsunoda then on Nico Hulkenberg down into turn 1. Is he going to go for the move? He's got DRS, dives down the inside, but doesn't go for it. Backs out of that one, and Yuki Tsunoda stays in P12 for now. No, they're not preparing a pit stop. Oh, they're doing pit stop for Russell because he won't lose a position and he can get fastest lap. Okay. So Mercedes are throwing the fastest lap card into the mix here. Yeah, Piastri about to join the fight as well, yeah. They're talking about rain. Imagine now, downpour now, 3 laps to go. Oh, mate. Does anybody remember Belgium 2008? Rain, 3 laps to go. One of the greatest finishes to a Grand Prix ever, mate. Unbelievable. Imagine that now. Yeah, heaven's open now. Rain now. Oh, mate. Oh. Everyone in the wall. Oh. Albon wins. Oh. No, I tell you what, Perez has driven superbly well here. Here get my vote for driver of the day, does Sergio Perez, to beat Verstappen fair and square, 3.5 seconds a gap. Here comes Yuki Tsunoda, though, on Nico Hulkenberg for P11. Is Hulkenberg pitting? Right, I see. So, anyway, Tsunoda's passed Hulkenberg down the straight, but the thing is, this is what Ocon and Hulkenberg are doing. They're in a scenario where, well, if you get a safety car, the pit stop is less of a punishment. If you get a red flag, something like that. So, Ocon and Hulkenberg have basically been waiting the whole race for another safety car or a red flag, and it's not happened. So they've just been going round and round and. This is damage limitation for Alonso, yeah. I mean, Alonso, third, fourth for Alonso in the first 4 races. It's not bad as going, is it? And Sainz is now out of the DRS range of Lewis Hamilton. Sainz has got it covered. Lewis had a go, but I don't think he's going to get the move done now. We've got 2.5 laps to go. I think Sainz has beaten Hamilton today. Here comes the pack then on the back of Nico Hülkenberg. Here comes Piastri v Hülkenberg. But yeah, Aston will take a 4th and a 7th out of this weekend, definitely. Alonso is about to be 20 seconds ahead of Sainz. Wow, yeah. Yeah, Alonso in the Aston Martin has beaten Sainz in the Ferrari by 20 seconds. A night of reflection for Carlos Sainz incoming because he has been well off the pace. Piastri down the inside of Hülkenberg then, and it's a nice easy one. Piastri up to P12. Piastri could end up 11th, the most painful place to finish a Grand Prix. You get nothing for 11th. And Albon's right there as well. Albon in the mix then. And so is Kevin Magnussen. Is on the back of this train now. Battle for 12. Piastri, Hülkenberg, Albon, Magnussen, nose to tail. We're on lap 49 out of 51. Perez leads Verstappen by 3 seconds. Alonso is coming back at Leclerc, but it might be too little too late. The gap 2.7. Hamilton now out of DRS. Russell still a second behind Stroll. Not really made a lot of inroads there. Yeah, Ocon Hülkenberg still going. Alonso fastest lap, yeah. I know, Ocon and Hülkenberg still going. It is going to be at the end of lap 50. Yellow flag sector 1. Oh, green again. Oh, one brief moment of drama. Then it went yellow flag for a second. So I don't know what happened there. But Albon all over the back of Hülkenberg then for 13th. Hülkenberg's tyres have gone. I mean, what are you going to do? Pit the end of lap 50? It's got to be. And Albon takes the position. And Magnussen right behind him. Magnussen dives down the inside and Hülkenberg lets him go. Magnussen up to 14th then. And Hülkenberg now down to 15th. Hülkenberg's really dropped off and been passed by everybody. But Esteban Ocon has driven a great race. He's still going. He's still P9. He's yet to pit. His tyres must be horrendous. But he's held on to P9. Russell goes, that was what the yellow flag was for then. Russell made a mistake down into turn 1. Runs wide into the runoff area. Rejoins the circuit again. Lost a couple of seconds out of that. But carries on regardless. The gap at the front comes down a little bit to 2.7. But I think Perez has got this one covered. Lap and a half to go in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix as Sergio Perez leads a Red Bull 1-2. Mercedes look like they're getting ready to pit George Russell for a set of soft tyres and to go for fastest lap. Alonso fastest lap, yeah, but George Russell coming in for softs could be about to obliterate that. Ooh. Alonso, yeah, Alonso only 2 seconds off. And Hamilton back within DRS range of Sainz. Alonso only 2 seconds behind Leclerc. So Russell pits then for a brand new set of soft tyres and going for fastest lap. He doesn't lose any positions doing it, so it's worth it for Mercedes to try and claim an extra point out of this Grand Prix. 6th and 8th for Mercedes. Not a great weekend, is it? Not a disaster, but it's not great. And now, finally, Nico Hülkenberg pits at the end of lap 50. As I said, has Ocon been in as well? Well, what's Ocon doing? Ocon's still going. Right, they've got to be careful here. Ocon's still got to pit, so Ocon is pitting as he's crossing the finish line. Is this even legal? Right, so they're complaining because... Right. This is getting really controversial now because we've got all the team personnel from Red Bull going to the pit wall to celebrate the win, but Esteban Ocon's not pitted yet. We're on the final lap. Ocon has to pit now or sell your soul to the devil because you're going to be disqualified, mate. Oh, this is bad. This could be really bad because people all over the pit lane coming to celebrate the Perez win, but Ocon's pitting now, and Ocon is in the pits. And now look at this. This is a mess. We've got this. The rules will change after this. We've got all the photographers, everyone in the pit lane already celebrating, and Ocon's coming down the pit lane and nearly running over a load of people. The rules will change immediately, but with Ocon in the pits and Sergio Perez coming down the pit straight to win the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, it's back to back. It's a double victory for Sergio Perez and Red Bull. Sergio Perez wins the 2023 Azerbaijan Grand Prix after winning the sprint yesterday. This championship is on. Verstappen is not a one-man team. Red Bull have got two drivers. Sergio Perez closes the championship battle to about 7 or 8 points. Perez beats Verstappen comfortably. He had him covered the whole weekend. And fair play to Sergio Perez, bringing home the win for Red Bull. Verstappen follows him home in second. Leclerc takes a podium out of this weekend. He's took a second in the sprint and a third in the Grand Prix today. Leclerc will take P3. Alonso, a fantastic result in P4. Only 8 tenths behind Leclerc he was in the end. Alonso on a final charge, but not good enough for another podium. P4 for Alonso. 5th for Sainz. Hamilton couldn't beat him. Hamilton comes home P6. Stroll comes 7th. George Russell coming across the line now. Will he set fastest lap? Here we go then. Russell across the line. Will he take fastest lap? And Russell gets the point for fastest lap and 8th position. 9th will be Lando Norris and P10 Yuki Tsunoda. Wow. I tell you what, this thing about Ocon pitting on the final lap, mate, and all the team personnel already in the pit lane, you got a serious issue going on there. Well done. And it's driver of the day from me for Sergio Perez as well. Perez with the double victory in Azerbaijan and really closing the championship lead. So, big ups to Sergio Perez. Yeah, Tsunoda gets a point in P10. Russell gets P8 and fastest lap, so he'll take 5 points away from this. Hamilton P6. Sainz way off it in P5. Well, Max was being a bit more mature today on team radio. He's happy with the Red Bull 1-2. Good team result, he says. So it wasn't a classic, was it? It wasn't a classic. Yeah, driver of the day, Sergio Perez. I rate the race out of 10. 4, 5 out of 10. Please do drop me a like, guys. Yeah, it wasn't a classic, was it? A 4 or 5 out of 10 race. Sergio Perez. But the good thing out of this race is it is game on in the championship. You know, Perez has come to Baku kicking and has got the double victory, sprint race victory, Grand Prix victory. Perez on top. But yeah, that's about it from me, guys. Join me next weekend for the Miami Grand Prix. That'll be in the evening UK time. I feel like those sessions are going to be 7, 8 p.m. UK times. You know, Saturday evening qualifying, probably 7 or 8 p.m. next weekend, and the race probably 7 or 8 p.m. UK time on Sunday night. So yeah, join me next week for Miami. But yeah, that's about all for Azerbaijan. Cheers, Jay. Miami better be good. I know. Would you a great race, aren't we? Azerbaijan was okay. I'm glad Perez has won, and it's not just been a Verstappen walkover. But yeah, cheers, guys. Please do drop me a like if you have enjoyed the stream. You know, it could really help me out. And like I say, we've got another 4 races in 5 weeks to come. So hopefully we can get a few new faces in. And start growing the channel a little bit. But cheers, guys. Thanks for joining. And Sergio Perez dominant in Baku and closes the championship points from about 15 to about 7 or 8. So big result for the Mexican. Red Bull 1-2 and Charles Leclerc on the podium. So fair play to Ferrari. They've improved a lot. And Leclerc on the podium. But Perez victorious in Baku. See you next time. Miami Grand Prix next weekend. Evening settings. See you then. Bye for now.